Hello, learners. Today we are going to discuss some famous questions from Tintern Abbey by Wordsworth. Directly moving on to the questions. First question: Wordsworth born on 7th April 1770. Second question: William Wordsworth's magnum opus is generally considered to be the Prelude. The Prelude is a dash poem of his early years, semi autobiographical poem. Who calls Wordsworth the historian of Wordsworthshire? Lowell. Who was the master and ideal of Wordsworth? John Milton. Who launched the Romantic Age in English literature? Wordsworth and Coleridge. Who is known as the nature poet? William Wordsworth. He became the poet laureate during 1843 to 1850. Who are the lake poets? Wordsworth, Coleridge, and Robert Southey. Wordsworth's wife, Mary Hutchinson. Who called Wordsworth the lost leader? Robert Browning. With whom he wrote Lyrical Ballad. Coleridge. Wordsworth died on 23rd April 1850. He died because of pleurisy. Wordsworth was buried at St. Oswald's Church, Grasmere. What is the full title of the poem Tintern Abbey? Lines written a few miles above Tintern Abbey. What was the situation for writing the poem? On revisiting the banks of Wye during a tour, July 13, 1798. The poem written in 1798. The poem published in 1800. While visiting the bank, he was in company of his sister. The poem written in decasyllabic blank verse. He says dash stages of his attitude to nature. 3. Tintern Abbey founded on 9th May 1131. If solitude or fear or pain or grief should buy thy portion, whom is Wordsworth is referring to? Dorothy, that means his sister. Who called Wordsworth highest priest of nature? Arnold. Who calls Wordsworth one of the giants of English poetry? John Crowe Ransom. What is the form of the poem? Monologue. Wordsworth became poet laureate after Robert Southey. The part which describes Dorothy is part 5. The last poem in Lyrical Ballads is Tintern Abbey. Who calls Tintern Abbey as a greater romantic lyric? M. H. Abrams. Who called Wordsworth, the spoiled child of disappointment. Hazlitt. Nature never did betray the heart that loved her. These lines appeared in Tintern Abbey. Bromwich has in fact called for a complete reappraisal of Wordsworth, suggesting that we cast aside idealized visions of Wordsworth as the prophet of dash nature. Total number of stanzas in Tintern Abbey 5. John Stuart Mill became inspired by Wordsworth's vision of individuality and the dignity of human. With the passing of youth, which feeling go according to Wordsworth in the poem? Action joys and dizzy raptures. Who is the silent listener in the poem? His sister. What was the age of the poet when he visited Tintern Abbey first time? 23 years old. What does the speaker describes as a dwelling place for all sweet sound and harmonies? Nature. What feeling does the wide valley give the speaker? Comfort and happiness. What humanized Wordsworth's soul? French Revolution. Pantheism means is the belief that nature and God are one. What are the two main aspects of Romanticism that Wordsworth used in the poem? Past and nature. Who was an important Victorian social and literary critic, wrote of Wordsworth, I, for one, must always listen to him with the profoundest respect. Arnold. How many lines are there in the poem? 376 lines. What word does the speaker first use to refer to his family member? Companion. How does the speaker react to nature? The speaker was in awe of it as a child, but finds deeper meaning in it as an adult. How does Wordsworth describe he reacted when he first came among the hills at Tintern Abbey? He jumped like a raw deer. What is the overall theme of the poem? How people's views change over time. Though wanderer through the woods, how oft has my spirit turned for thee? Wanderer mentioned here is why. Wordsworth wrote largely about the beauty and immortality of nature in the late 1800s and to the early 1900s. Who pointed out? Hazlitt. We are laid asleep in body and become a living soul. These lines occurs in Tintern Abbey. The religious sentiments associated with the poem, pantheism. Who characterized Wordsworth's poetry as having an outward looking intention not entirely dissimilar from that at the center of modernist project. M.H. Abrams. What caused Wordsworth to perform little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and love? His first visit to Abbey. Of what does the speaker refer to themselves as worshipper in the final section? Nature. Who wrote favorable reviews about Wordsworth in which flaws were highlighted within the context of friendly teasing. Charles Lamb. Which are the personification used to describe nature at the end of fourth section? The nurse, the guardian of my heart, and the guide. Founder of romantic movement. It is Wordsworth. So friends, thank you for watching. Keep watching and like, share and subscribe.